Reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Adharma lakshanānāna narakāscānuvarnita manvantarasca vyakhyata ādyaha svayambhuvo yataha. Translation. You have also described at the end of the 5th canto the varieties of the hellish life that result from impious activities. You have also described in the 4th canto the first Manvantara, which was presided over by Swayambhuva Manu, the son of Lord Brahma. Other 2 verses I'll read myself. Priyavratothana pador vamshascha chiratani cha dvipavarsha samudradri nad udhyana vanaspatin धरामण्डल संस्थानं भागालक्षणमानतः ज्योतिषां विवराणाञ्च यथेदम् आसृज विभुः. Translation. My dear Lord, you have described the dynasties and the characteristics of King Priyavrata and King Uttanapada, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, created this material world with various universes, planetary systems, planets and stars with varied land, seas, oceans, mountains, rivers, gardens and trees, all with the different characteristics. These are divided among this planet, Earth, the luminaries in the sky and the lower planetary systems. You have very clearly described these planets and the living entities who live on them. Purport. Here the words Yathedam Asrajat Vibhuhu clearly indicates that the Supreme, the Great, the Almighty Personality of Godhead created this entire material world with its different varieties of planets, stars and so forth. Atheists try to conceal the hand of God which is present in every creation. But they cannot explain how all these creations could come into existence without competent intelligence and almighty power behind them. Simply to imagine and speculate is a waste of time. In the Bhagavad Gita 10.8, the Lord says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo. I am the origin of everything. Mattas sarvam pravartate. Whatever exists in the creation emanates from me. Iti matva bhajante mam bhuda bhava samanvitaha. When one is fully understands that I create everything by my omnipotence, one becomes firmly situated in devotional service and fully surrenders at my lotus feet. Unfortunately, the unintelligent cannot immediately understand Krishna's supremacy. Nonetheless, if they associate with the devotees and read authorized books, they may gradually come to the proper understanding. Although this may take many births, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan ma prapadyate Vasudevaha sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabhaha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all cause and that is, all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Vasudeva, Krishna, is the creator of everything and his energy is displayed in various ways. As explained in the Bhagavad Gita, a combination of the material energy, Bhumira Podalo Vayuhu, and the spiritual energy, the living entity, exists in the every creation. Therefore, the same principle, the combination of the Supreme Spirit and the material elements, is the cause of the cosmic manifestation. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, in this place, in these two verses, the Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit is addressing Shukadeva Goswami. He is saying that you are described varieties of hellish life. In the previous canto, we just begun the 6th canto. In the 5th canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, the last chapter is about different varieties of hellish planets. There are total 26 planets. Each planet is meant for different kinds of the living beings who have committed sins, varieties of sins. For them the punishment. Just like if you go to a prison house, there are different cells. The bigger criminals, more difficult punishment is given. And the smaller thieves or small criminal, he may not be punished so much. So like that, under the law of nature, there is punishment. There are different hellish planets. So one may escape in this life sometimes. We see that somebody is doing all wrong things, but he is happy. So his happiness is as long as that person has not got non-bailable warrant. So till now he is some bail, he is outside. So long he may run with the bail, but one day he will be behind the bars. So like that, the living entities who are thinking that I can do anything and get away. So authentic scriptures like Bhagavatam explains, it is not possible. You will have to suffer for each sin you have committed. That is 5th canto, end of the chapters. So Parikshit is mentioning, you are told about that, my dear spiritual master, Shukadeva Goswami. You also described in the previous about Manvantaras, how big is the creation, how different planets, how Manu is creating. There are 14 Manus in a Brahma's day. That also you have told. And you have also described about different kings like Priyavrata and Uttanapada. They are the sons of the first Manu, Swayambhuva Manu. You described about that also as well. And my dear Shukadeva Goswami, you also described about the personality of Godhead, the Lord's creation, how the Lord is creating this material world, various universes, planets and all those things also you have explained. So like this he is addressing how various things are created. And at the end, Yathedham Asrjam Vibhuhu. It's very clear that everything is created by the Supreme Lord. Now, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about people who are atheists, who do not believe in God. The interesting part of atheists is that those who do not believe in God, they cannot answer some questions. What are those questions? The question is that, what is this law of nature? Many things are there in this nature which we have discovered. For example, your own body. It requires oxygen to survive. Why oxygen? Why not nitrogen? Someone has made that creation of the body. Why, if you ask, there is no answer with the atheists. They will only find out, yes, this is working here, oxygen, because the oxygen, your blood gets purified. This is how the body is working. They are doing discoveries. These only discoveries. But they have not made that creation. They found out. So they do not have answer if you ask why. Atheists cannot answer. Atheists also cannot answer about consciousness. There are three things atheists cannot answer. First thing is, they cannot answer about why the laws of nature. Why it is a reason everything has a law. Certain things happen in a certain way. There is a gravitational force, there is a this thing, law. Everything in this world works with a certain law. So which they cannot say why they cannot answer. They'll say that's how it is. They end up saying that's how it is. They cannot answer. The second thing the atheists cannot answer is consciousness. What is consciousness? Being aware. There's a difference between having consciousness, not in having consciousness. In a factory, you can create a man look-alike structure with the hands, legs, eyes, face. The doll will exactly look like human being. You know, sometimes in the museums and all they do, but some big personalities, they carve exactly as it is. Every hair they will measure and they will make that person. You have seen, isn't it? But they cannot give awareness ability to that particular object. It is a dull. It is like a chair. Chair cannot be aware that what is going on. It has no awareness. That's called consciousness. So the atheists cannot explain about the consciousness. What is consciousness? From where the consciousness is coming, they cannot explain. And the third thing the atheist cannot explain is the beauty of creation, the minutest detail in the creation. How every minute detail is worked out. Take your eyes, how the eyes is working. To study eyes, human beings studies on the eyes, does medical degree and then master degree and post graduation. He goes on studying PhD, but still they cannot fully understand the eyes. How you are now looking at me, through your eyes, the image is reflecting, and it is how it is going to the brain, how the minutest of the creation, the art and beauty and the creation is taken care by the Lord. Now, the Vedic literatures, this is called process of coming from the superior authority. Vedic scriptures answer all the three questions. That is why Krishna consciousness is meant for intelligent people who ask this question. They don't ask this question, are not considered to be intelligent. Just like a person in the prison house, he does not ask a question how to get out of the prison. That person is not considered to be intelligent. For the intelligent people, there is answer. The answer for the one, the laws of nature, they explained why. What is the purpose of creation? Why does God create? Why is that Lord creating this universe? Who are we? Who are you? Why are you here? This creation Lord has done. It is explained today in the verse. Various universes, planetary systems, planets and stars, with varied lands, seas, oceans, mountains, rivers, gardens, trees, all the different characteristics. The Lord has created so many varieties. Why? The Vedic literature explain this entire creation is meant for the rectification of the human beings. This is an institution, character refining institution, just like schools and colleges. It has a purpose to give education. So like that, here is a rectification institution. If you do wrong, there will be a punishment. You cannot encroach upon others' rights. And there is a temporary happiness, temporary unhappiness. There is a changing of body, and based on our action, the next body is defined. There is suffering, pain, apparently the pain which the body goes through, so that we rectify ourselves. You would have seen, I have seen a video where the child is not eating the food. Not child, I think. The dog is not eating the food. Okay. The owner of the dog brings on doll, a dog's doll, and tries to feed. Dog does not eat. He takes a stick and beats. The dog sees that. The next, the owner offers the dog. Dog starts eating. Dog is seeing, so the getting beaten. Like that, the Atma actually cannot suffer in this material world. Atma is not this body. But Atma identifies with this body, and the sufferings of the body we think as our suffering. So with this way, God is teaching us. There's a rectification process going on. Prabhupada writes in the purport, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan ma prapadyate. Some people quickly understand, some people may take time. They'll say, no Prabhu, I want some more time. I want to enjoy this and come. I'll see that and come, this and come. The desires, no, you have to go more number of years and months to realize Vasudevaha sarvamiti sahamatma sudurlabha. Krishna is everything in my life. To understand that, sometimes even the devotees who have come to Krishna consciousness also take time. They need to take little more time. Meaning, we should rectify ourselves and understand the principle that Krishna is everything. Even in our devotional service, those are rendering devotional service, that Krishna, whatever happens in my life, I depend on the Lord. I don't depend on my personal abilities. No ego. I have done this. I am great. My abilities. I keep aside those things and I think Krishna is everything. So this Bahunam Janmanam Ante verse is not only limited to those who are not surrendered to Krishna, it is also applicable for those who are on the process to surrendering to Krishna, to all of us. So it says that you should keep the ego aside, we should think Krishna is everything. Then Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sahamatma, then you can become Mahatma. Then you become great person. Mahatma means great person, great soul, Mahatma, the great person one can become. So like this, there is a purpose. The laws of nature is there. There is a purpose for the laws of nature. Why it is so? So next is consciousness. They cannot explain the consciousness. The atheists cannot explain the consciousness. But we have an answer. The answer is that consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. The soul is there means consciousness should be there. Consciousness is there means soul is there. Consciousness cannot be originated by the dull matter. There is no chemical combination to create consciousness. Everything in this world has a chemical combination to create. You mix with the sulfuric acid with another nitrate and this and that, and another one reaction will happen. There is a chemically you can establish some things, Combine two things, something will come out. Anything you do in the lab, how many chemicals you mix, you cannot create consciousness. This is a challenge to the atheists we should give. Can you create consciousness in your laboratory? Because they will not accept word soul. You tell them, can you create consciousness in the laboratory? Give consciousness to something. Srila Prabhupada said, they cannot even create one mosquito. Forget about creating big things. One mosquito they cannot create. They create a mosquito which has a consciousness, keep flying and sucks blood in the lab? So much advancement we are talking about today, going to other planets. So we challenge those who do not believe in the scriptures and God, that can you create consciousness? Consciousness is the symptom of the soul that is not created by any or external efforts. That consciousness or soul is part of the supreme consciousness or super soul Paramatma Sri Krishna. That is what we are. And that consciousness, today you are in this body. You are realizing you are sitting here, you are hearing this and all that. After 100 years you will be somewhere else. Your soul cannot be killed. You'll go to another body, you'll go to another situation, another life. So, that is part of God. Only one consciousness can create another consciousness. There is a book by Srila Prabhupada called Life Comes From Life. This is a challenge Srila Prabhupada gave to scientists. You cannot create life in the lab. Life has to come from life only. The second point we have answer, atheists don't have answer. The third is the most minutest and beautiful creation in this world. That is also, why does God create that? So many varieties. Some enjoyment is also there. You can put some nice food and tasty food and enjoy that. Why is Lord creating? What is the purpose? So in the process of rectification of the Atma, the soul, there is also a soul's desire to fulfill. There are many desires to be fulfilled. That's why those facilities are given to fulfilling those desires. It's not only suffering. Enjoyment is also there in this world. That is why the atheists get carried away by the enjoyment. There is also a suffering and enjoyment. This enjoyment is created to fulfill the desires of the living beings. That is why there is a beauty in the creation. There is an attraction in the creation. All these things. Why? Because not everybody can be rectified only by punishment. Somebody by enjoying, then they understand this enjoyment has nothing. Just like a example of a child. Child wanted to go and touch fire. These days fire is generally inaccessible for children. But in earlier days, the night time, the way of lighting the home was candles and lamps and those things. Big challenge for the parents used to be, child will go and touch that. And the child gets attracted to see the fire, it thinks something is there, it becomes a try to go and touch. Parents can keep on pulling the child, punishing the child and all that. Some child may accept. Okay, mother you are saying, father is saying, okay, father says you are a good boy, good girl, don't touch. Child, some good children will stop. Some children will never. Then father will decide, okay, you touch once. You want to touch? Touch once. And child touches and gets a hand burnt, then never goes and touches. You see, sometimes Living beings should be allowed to do some enjoyment. Child is enjoying going near fire, it's some wish is getting fulfilled. But the result and ultimate result is suffering. So like that, the Lord, to create attraction in this world, He created Maya, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Daivi Yesha Gunamayi, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. He created so that the living entities can fulfill their desires. So like this, we can understand from this verse where Parikshit is saying, Yathedham asrajam vibhuhu. You have very clearly described these planets and the living entities who live on them. And it is also explained the Supreme Personality of Godhead created this material world with varieties of material things. So it's very clearly explaining in the scriptures how the Lord has created everything. It is a purpose behind that. It's a reason behind that. Why are we here? So what is this all about? So there is an answer for that in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, while the modern scientific advance is unable to answer these questions. So with this, I will stop. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.